a lot of questions recently about songwriting on the Rav Vast and the Rav Vast 2. And I want to go a little bit through one of my songs that I've written recently. It's a song with words, and show you how I begin to build some chordal structure in songs. Because there's a lot of players who will play all around, kind of in an ethereal sort of way, and it's beautiful. But that only appeals to some people. That does appeal to me, actually. But I also like to build songs that have an anchor and have a bass note or have a bass chord that you're building the rest of them off of. Mainly because I approach this as a string instrument, not as a percussion instrument. I think that's what's very different about my style of playing versus other people's, is I'm not thinking of this as a drum. I'm thinking about it as an extension of my, world instrument, string instrument skills. So I'm going to show you one of the songs that I've written recently. I'm going to play that for you and then break it down piece by piece and talk a little bit about how I came up with the chord progression that I'm using so that you can apply this to your own work. The Rav I'm going to be using on this particular example is a D major Rav Vast 2, and this is from 2017. Let's take a look. Here's the song just by itself. Played ultra slow. This is the whole progression. Now the portion I played is just one segment from the beginning of my song, but I wanted to break it down piece by piece and show you what I'm doing. Now, just to talk about which tongue I'm speaking of when I'm saying 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm going to call this just the ding. So center note we'll call ding. The first note will be the lowest note directly on the bottom. The second note will be the one to the left of that. Third note, going back and forth all the way up, just like the scale. So again, I'll turn it around so you can see it a little bit better. Ding, first note, second note, third note, fourth note, fifth note, sixth note, 7, 8. So there's 8 notes total plus the ding. So for the sake of clarity, I'm going to attempt to play this in reverse for you. The main section of this that we're worried about is really the bottom half. So this song starts out using the slap technique that I talked about in a previous video. And I'm hitting the wing, which is this section right here. Not the center of the tongue, but the edge. And this activates the harmonic. So I'm hitting the 7th note, so the top right note if this is facing you. Top right note. Not the center, but the right. I'm hitting that one. I'm hitting the one below it. And then I'm hitting the bottom 2 notes with an L shape. So it'll sound like this. And again, I'm going wing hit, then using the L or the C shape, and hitting the first and third note. So for this part, I'm doing so right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. From your view. So I'm keeping that L shape, and I'm using my thumb to accent the bottom note here, note 1. And I'll play it from the beginning again. Once you've gotten that down, the next part, I'll play it all the way through, and then you'll hear the next piece I'm going to teach you. I'm hitting the 3rd tongue, the 4th tongue, and then the 5th tongue. So it's that 3rd, 4th, 5th. I'm going back to the top right. And I'm going over here. So I'm making, instead of this being my bass chord, I'm making this my bass chord. So second time around, it's the same beginning part. And I'm going down to here. So again, second time around, it's same beginning, wing hit, wing hit, from your angle. Oops. We're doing the same pattern on here. Basically all we're doing is retracing our steps as we're doing this. And again, I'll go through it one more time. This is the part going up, starting on the 3rd. Back to the beginning again. To our new bass chord. Back up, and this time you're starting on the 5th one. 5, 6, 7. And then back again to our initial progression. Once you get more comfortable doing this, you kind of loop it in a circle. Now if you notice in the example that I gave, really the chord progression is this to this. We're really anchoring our sounds around these two dyads. They're not really chords, but so if I were coming up with my own song, had I not written this, I would look for notes that matched whatever chord I thought sounded beautiful. So say I wanted to make a song using these chords. And we'll make it simple. I'll just be tapping them. What I can do, if I'm keeping just a steady rhythm, is look for other notes on the Rav that might go with that. So I like these two notes, say. I might look for a chord that goes next. This one kind of matches well. Usually from higher to low on the D major sounds really nice. So that's one chord. Over here is the other chord. And I'm going to repeat the same phrasing that I did in the beginning using my other hand. So I'm keeping that steady. no matter what you pick as your bass chord, you're always going to have to look for notes that go with it. And again, this is just in my style of playing. I typically use a chord that anchors the rest of my song, as opposed to just doing... I like that sort of thing, but for me as a songwriter, it's nice to have somewhere to return home to. So you could still be doing the... But if you have a place to come back to, that all of the fanciness has a little bit more meaning because it's anchored in something coherent, and it's not just all over the place. Again, this is just how I approach the Rav. Play it any way you wish. There are no rules for playing the Rav. There's no wrong way to play it. And I want to stress that because there's a lot of people who seem to have a very fixed and rigid idea of how you should play. You know, being condescending to other players because they don't play like them. You know, I have no interest in playing like anybody else. I don't watch many videos of people playing. I don't listen to music. You know, my interest in creating music is to satiate my desire to create. You know, we are very lucky to have access to these instruments that are affordable and they create great mediums for expression. But there's no place for, you know, hypocrisy and pretension in that. And I think that comes through pretty clearly in most of my tutorials. Play however you want, but I'm more than happy to share how I do it, what I find effective, and how I've made progress through the last couple of years in playing this. I hope this was useful. If you found this sort of in-depth tutorial helpful, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and also comment and subscribe if you're interested in more. I have a lot of videos coming out, some on foraging, some on Rav reviews, all over the place. I have a lot of performances coming up. But I want to continue to help out as many people as I can learn this instrument and not be afraid of sharing what they create with other people. Because, again, there's no room for judgment, there's no room for pretension, there's no wrong way to play this instrument. So however you play it, however you're comfortable using it, is the right way to do it. Stay well, walk in peace, and I really appreciate you guys. Happy fall.